Okay, so you can hear me. You can hear but not see. Okay. Okay, it says one watching, but I don't. It hates me. Alright, give me a second. Okay, we're going to... I don't know why it's not working. It worked fine the other day. Yeah, I was trying to get the resolution to be higher. The last one recorded at a really, streamed at a really low resolution. And so I thought it was working when I tried it. It says my stream is good, but it's still not showing. Okay. Alright. This actually looks like it's working. Hold on. Let me close that quick. Okay. Now... Okay, can we, can you see me now? No. Now it says bad stream again. It keeps going back and forth. Why did it work in that? Okay, I'll tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to... Oh, wait. Good. Yes, you can see me. Oh, good. Okay. Thank goodness. Okay, so let's get started. Yay. It's working. Let me switch over to my other window. It still says it's got a bad stream, but it's working, so I guess we'll call it good. So thanks everybody for coming out to join. I thought we'd do a couple things today, and I didn't get a whole lot of questions, so if you guys have questions in the stream, just let me know, and we can stop and go through really what anyone wants to see. Or if you have questions, it doesn't have to be about wardrobe, it really can be about anything. And we can just kind of talk through stuff. I've got like about, well, now a little less, but like an hour and 20 minutes, maybe an hour and 15 minutes to stream today before I have to go. So we should be able to get a lot done. As some of you know from the group, I've been working on rebuilding my parcel and putting in a new coffee shop. And so I've been doing lots and lots of shopping, trying to get ready for that. So lots of home stuff and decor. Plus, I went to Project 7 and I got all the gifts there, and Collaborate 88, and I've got, my inventory is a mess. So I've got plenty of stuff to sort through today. So I think we'll do that. I do want to start though and just give everyone an update. I know people see it in the group, but I want to get these into the videos as well on the email issue and where it sits with Firestorm. To the best of my knowledge, Firestorm is waiting for Linden Lab to release their upcoming release candidate viewer that deals with inventory, and that was supposed to go into release candidate stage from Linden Labs today or yesterday or today. I haven't looked to see if it did or not. If it does, they usually stay in there somewhere between like 2 and maybe 4 weeks, depending on how well they do with the crash rate and the testing. So it's probably 2 to 4 weeks before Linden Lab releases their viewer, which clears the way for Firestorm to release theirs. So we're probably still like a month away before we'll get a new release from Firestorm that will fix the email issue. So it is in there. I've talked to some people on the Firestorm team, and the fix is a part of the next release. We're just waiting on this other bit before they actually do their release. So yeah, so hopefully, I keep saying a month, it seems to always be a month, and we don't really know. If you ask the Firestorm team, their response will be it'll be released when it's ready, and so that's really all we can go on, but we can make some other guesses as well. Okay, so Michelle says, I want to know the very first step to do starting getting organized. I have the wardrobe. So when you're working with wardrobe, and I think this is so important for everybody, is you just have to do, and it sounds kind of silly, but you just have to do one item. The hardest part with wardrobe and organizing stuff is just getting in there and getting that first couple of items in, just that first item in to see how it works. And once you get that first one in there, then you can start really getting in and thinking about how to use the tool and how to work with it. There is no perfect organization method for either wardrobe or your Second Life inventory. And so it really comes down to you and how you want to be able to work. Mine's going to be different from everybody else's. But I made a video last year, like in August last year, that I called the 1 day at a time method, which I'll actually probably do a little bit of today, which basically you open up your inventory window. Once you're used to kind of working with wardrobe a little bit, you open up your inventory window and you set your filters just to show the stuff that you've gotten in the last day, and you sort through all of that. And then you go back 2 days and you sort through all of that, and you go back 3 days and sort through all that, and that gives you a nice structure to organizing your inventory and kind of gives you a goal to set. I'm going to work on everything I got yesterday and get it filed today, and then I'm going to go back 2 days, I'm going to go back 4 days, and so on and so forth. So that kind of gives you some structure to it. But we'll go through today and we'll look at a couple things that I'm sorting and kind of get a sense for how people organize stuff. But really though, I think the key to all of this is just getting in and getting started, because until you do that first one or that first 3 or 4 items in wardrobe, it's really sometimes hard to get your head wrapped around how it all works. All right, so I'm up here in my skybox, and I'm wearing this is a new Insania dress from Season Story that just started yesterday. I went in there last night and grabbed, I think this is actually, I got this, and let me pose. I got this, and I got, let me see if I can show you, these rings here, which are bento enabled rings, and they're from Australia, and they work with Vista hands and Lara hands and Slink hands. And they have a HUD that comes with them, so you can hide the individual rings, and they come with gold and silver colors, and what else was there? It's so funny to see my fingers wiggling like that. You can hide the individual rings. It comes with all this. Yeah, you hide the individual rings. It comes with the 2 colors. Anyway, yeah. So, oh, they were $3.99. So a lot of the rings so far have been like 600 and 800, and so I thought $3.99 wasn't too bad for a set of rings that was bento and came for all three major hand sets that are out right now. So, um, okay. So what I want to do, I think, is just walk through a couple things quick, and I've kind of collected it in my head a few things that people have asked about that I'll try to focus on today. But we'll just walk through a couple items here and get them sorted and go through the whole process. So I'll start in Second Life, and I'll look for stuff that I need to both take pictures of or things that maybe already have pictures. And then we'll go over to wardrobe and do the whole 9 yards. So, okay, so let me go ahead and I guess I will just come over here for now. And we will find something to put away. All right. And well, actually, I think we'll probably start with just this dress here because it's going to have a picture in it already. And you can see, look at all this. This is all the stuff that's just floating out there in my inventory unsorted. All this stuff from Half Deer and everywhere else, the stuff that I've gotten that I haven't put away. But we'll get some of it done today. All right, and if you have questions, just go ahead and put them into chat, and I will try and get to them. I'm a little ahead of what you guys are seeing, so if you ask a question, I'll make sure to get back to it. Okay, so this is the new Tanya dress from Insania, and they always provide an image. So we're going to start with this one because it's super easy. So when you get an image that comes with it, you're looking for one that's full perm. It has to enable you to save as. If you don't have one that's full perm, you can actually use like the Windows snipping tool to take a picture of the picture in World. But in this case, I don't really have to. Let's see if it will get less blurry. It may not matter for saving it. The nice thing about these is that she always does them in square as well, which is what we want for wardrobe. All right, so I'll come here and do a save as. And I'm going to go to my uploads folder. So this is one of the questions that I've gotten, which is what is this folder right here, this uploads folder? And this is a folder that I've created. It's in my just my Windows Pictures folder. And then I just create a subfolder called uploads. And I just save absolutely everything into this folder here, and from that I then can go and upload later on. You know, the people, lots of discussion right now about the email system, and I haven't actually used that other than just for testing stuff in quite a while because I think this method works for me a lot better. Yeah, something like Grabzilla or Gyazo or Snapzilla or any of the local Windows tools for doing screenshots works great for capturing these. Lightshot, yep, those work good as well for getting these if you don't have the full perm. Okay, so now it's all cleared up. So yeah, so this is just a regular folder that I've created on my hard drive in my pictures folder, and I just keep things here until I'm ready to upload them. So the next thing I always get a question about is what I put on the file name field. And I kind of, I think, go through it sort of fast when I am doing this in the Watch Me wardrobe. So I'm going to try and really describe it right now. Hopefully this will make sense to everybody. If you're using the email to upload your images, you're doing that all within Second Life. If you're using the this camera icon on the HUD, you're doing it all in Second Life. So everything is right there, and you can see it. You can look in your folder as you're getting ready to upload it through email or whatever, and you can say, okay, this has got a Freya size and an Isis size and a Lara size, etc. It comes in all these different colors and so on. But when you're using the upload tool directly into Wardrobe, you're not in Second Life anymore. And so the file name that I give to my items here, I type in enough information about this item so that I can tag it without having to come back into Second Life to see it later. Because a lot of times I'll build up 15 or 20 or 30 or 50 items to do, in Second Life all at once, but I won't actually put them into wardrobe until later that day or the next day. So it's oftentimes a delay between the two. And so I want to make sure that when I go into this uploads folder, everything I need to put these into wardrobe is there. So I always start with the name of the store, and then I put the name of the item, and this is what I'm going to put as the title field in wardrobe, and this is also what's going to be the name of the folder in Second Life. So it's going to be Tanya Dress. And I usually don't include things like, so this is called Tanya Dress Solid. I usually don't include those, rather put that stuff in the tags in wardrobe. But sometimes if there is a need, because there's some, it's very similarly named, I'll include something else. But in this case, I think Tanya Dress is going to be okay. And then I go ahead and I start filling in my tags. So this is going to be a dress, and I don't need to know lots about it. So it's a pretty mini dress, and I've got a mini dress tag. So I'll just put dress here, but when I get into tag it, I'll be able to look at it and say, okay, that's going to go under my mini dress tag. But it is a dress, and I have a Freya, an Isis, a Venus, a Lara, an Hourglass, and a Physique size. So I just put the first letter of the mesh body that it works for. If this was an applier, I just put the first letter of what bodies it works for there. I'll use like an M for Maitreya, an S for Slink, an O for Omega, B for Beleza, etc. So that's what those are there for. Now, sometimes I'll include colors. In a case like this, though, where I can see the colors really clearly in the picture, I'm just going to tag this with Fat Pack, because it contains lots of colors, and I'll know with that tag that I either know what colors are there, or I know to look in the picture to see what they are. So that's just a personal tag. And I would just keep going through, and I want to just give myself clues here to how I'm going to tag it later, so I don't have to come back into Second Life to go look those up. This is good enough for this one here, so I'll go ahead and click Save. And I will say, depending on the picture, so you notice this image here, it actually tells me what bodies it works for at the bottom. I've got the picture. A lot of times I really only need the name of the store or the name of the dress, and I can just get the rest of the information off of the picture. Okay, so we've got that there. Now we can file it away. So when I file it away, I start by opening up a brand new inventory window. And you can do this by clicking the little options button down here in new inventory window, or Control-Shift-I on your keyboard, and that will open up a second one. And then I'm just going to move these into my RLV folder. Wearables. So all of my clothing and pretty much everything I wear that's not shoes and not a body part is going to go into here. And this is a big folder. It's got lots and lots of subfolders all done by name. So I'm going to go down to my Insania folder. And again, when it comes to organizing, Michelle, you asked this question about, how do you get started? A lot of what you're going to be doing is getting things out of wherever they are in your inventory right now and moving them into RLV so that they work well with wardrobe. Or if you're not moving them into RLV, at least moving them into some new folder structure that you can very easily see what you've sorted and what you haven't sorted. How you do it in here is really up to you. I find that store name is a really good way to do it because it's always consistent. If you try to create ones for, by type of clothing and so on, you can do that, but then you get to these things that you're like looking at it, you're like, okay, well, is that a dress, or is that, how am I gonna define this thing? Sometimes you get maybe a lingerie set and it's got sort of a corset and then some other lingerie with it, and maybe you have a folder for corsets and another folder for lingerie and you're not sure where to put it. So I like just doing it by store because it's always consistent. It means that I'm very heavily reliant, though, on my wardrobe for the tagging to know what goes where, but it works pretty well for me. So here's my Insania. I'm going to go ahead and pick up this whole folder and just drag it over. Again, the only thing I care about here is Tanya Dress, because that's what I'm going to name it in wardrobe. So I'm going to rename all of this. I pressed F2 on my keyboard, and then I'm just cleaning up that name. So there it is, Tanya Dress. And now I've got to deal with the rest of this stuff in here. Well, I don't need this landmark, so we'll get rid of that. And I do need to put all of these things into folders. And if you've seen my previous videos, you know I have this folder I call Inventory Control. And in Inventory Control, I've got all of these sort of default folders that I use a whole bunch. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up the ones I need: Freya, Hourglass, the HUD, Isis, Lara, Physique, and Venus. So I hold down Control, I click all of those, and I right-click and copy. Come back over here to Tanya Dress, right-click and paste, and I've got these folders. And now I can just drag them to where they need to be. Now, I get asked this a whole lot because most people don't actually have... Hi, Lauren. Most people don't actually have all of these bodies. I actually do. And so I do like to keep them separated out. But a lot of people don't. A lot of people just have the Lara body, or just have Hourglass or Physique or whatever they have. And so you don't actually have to keep each of these like this. What you can do, really if you want to, is just create a folder called Extra Sizes or something like that, and move all the ones you don't need into there. Yeah, I spent a lot of time on it though, organizing it. Crystal, it does, but it's oddly relaxing. But yeah, so you can go through and create just a folder called Extra Sizes and move the ones that you're not going to wear a lot into just one folder. You don't have to create all of these if you don't want to. You can, of course, also just delete them if you don't think you need them. Most stores today have redelivery, so if you decide later on to get a body, you can always go back and get redelivery, or you can save the original boxes and reopen them. But I just do it this way because, again, I do have all the bodies, although I pretty much just wear Lara 99% of the time. Well, I think messy inventory is part and parcel with Second Life. I think most people do have messy inventory, and really, honestly, I've got some really well organized parts, and then I've got this folder right here, new purchases, and this folder here, shopping, and they're a mess, and I can't even open them here. I can't even open them because I would be too embarrassed. They're a mess. I probably should just throw them away. They've been sitting here so long unsorted that I can't possibly have anything in there I would need to wear. Okay, so that's one. So let's look at a couple of other ones. Now, I have... Let's do this, because I think... So underneath this dress, I picked up some new lingerie from Butterfly Effect. And this is a store that I'd always seen, especially at Cosmopolitan. They're right on that sim there. And I've always walked by them, and I thought, okay, yeah, that's another Applier lingerie store. And I actually was in there yesterday looking at trees at Little Branch, and I just happened to walk by the Butterfly Effect store, and I started looking at the lingerie, and it's actually pretty nicely done. Actually, it's really nicely done, and so I actually picked up 2 different sets here. And the one I'm wearing under here doesn't cover the top, and I'm trying to avoid having to mark this video as restricted, and so I think I'm going to change to the other one before we do. So these come in, they come with TMP installers, and then they come with all the system layers, and then Omega appliers. They don't actually come with the other body appliers. So I need to add my, my Omega HUD. So let's do that quick. Let's jump over here. And let me jump to my wardrobe. I want to show you how I do this. I don't think this is necessarily necessary. This is the problem with live streaming. You have to think about what you're going to say. But this is how I go in and I organize my Omega HUDs, because I have lots of different bodies, lots of body parts. They all have different Omega HUDs to them. And so I actually have in my wardrobe a tag for the store Omega, and I have a folder in my ROV called Omega System Kits, and underneath that System Kits folder I have all of the different system kits. And so if I click on my Wear dialog, it'll open this up, and you can see I've got all of these different ones here. And so I can just come in if I'm wearing my Maitreya body and I want to wear my applier for Omega, I can just come here and click that. And that will put it on for me. So there we go. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and wear this quick. And I think this one has, yes, this one has a full bra option. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and wear this on the shirt layer. Actually, no, we'll put it on underwear layer. There we go. And we're going to put that on as well. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and take these shoes off, and hopefully now I can detach the dress without being naked. I'm not naked, but I have a big hole in my body. Yeah, so you can create folders for absolutely anything. Anything you can put in a folder that can be worn, you can organize this way. So I've got this, this tag up here called Fast Access Toolkit. And if I click on this, it's not very complete. I need to work on it some more for the rest of my HUDs, but these are separate folders that have nothing but the different HUDs that I use in them. So if I want to really quickly add in just the Lara HUD here, I can come in here and click on that. And then it adds it in for me. And I can make it so you can see my midsection again. There we go. All right, so we're going to do a picture for this lingerie because I don't think it comes with one. It doesn't. Okay, so we did one where we had a picture already. So this time we're actually going to take a picture. And if you watch my videos, I set my win light to Strawberry Sing close-ups. And if you watch my video about creating my studio, you kind of know why I do that. Alright, so I'm going to come in here, and I'm just going to try and get as much of this as I can. And I'm just holding down the Alt key and zooming in as close as I can on my body. It doesn't have to be perfect in this case. Okay. And then I'm going to do a Control-Shift-S. I like being a hero, yay. Okay, so there it is, and I'm going to choose Save to Disk. And again, when we're saving our picture, we want this to be square. It doesn't matter what resolution you take it at, because the wardrobe's going to resize it for you anyway. But you want it to be square, so you want your width and your height to be the same size. I'm pretty sure, I keep looking it up and I keep forgetting because it's a weird size, but I think it's 420 by 420 is what Wardrobe resizes it to, but you can take it at anything as long as it's square. If you have something that's rectangular though, it's going to cut it off either at the top or on the sides, depending on whether your picture is wider or taller. And then you'll end up with something that you really can't see the whole item in. So it's always a good idea to make it square. And this is really important if you grab pictures from Marketplace or Flickr or somewhere, or you get one in World that's not square. You really want to resize those using Windows Paint or some other graphics tool to be square. That way they'll look better for you in Wardrobe. Okay, so I've got this here. And once I'm here, I'm just going to do a Save As, and it's going to go back out to my Uploads folder. And again, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to name this. Butterfly Effect is the name of the store. And this is the Esther lingerie, and it is Omega pliers. I don't actually save TMP. I don't ever plan on buying TMP, so the only mesh body stuff that I actually will delete is the TMP installers. So I don't even note it for Wardrobe. So this is black and pink. And this is the part where you know, that's a little bit difficult because I closed the HUD down, and while this Save As window is open, I can't actually do anything in Second Life, so I have to kind of remember it here. But it comes with stockings and bra, panties, corset, and I think that was it. something like that. And again, all I'm trying to do is give myself an idea of what I'm going to tag it with when I get back out into Wardrobe later on. So go ahead and click Save there. Okay, so this is a good one because I don't think I've ever bought anything from Butterfly Effect before. Oh, no, I lied. I have. I have two. I looked in, oh, I did Renee the other day. I looked in my wardrobe, but I didn't see it the other day. So here we have the Esther one. So I'm going to go ahead and pick it up and move it over here. Esther lingerie. So again, I just want this name here to match what I'm going to put into wardrobe later. And then I'm going to come in here, and I only actually care about one thing, this Omega applier set. So I'm going to create a new folder called Omega, and the rest of the stuff I'm going to delete. I don't keep any system layer stuff anymore, and like I said, I don't keep any of the TMP installers. So that's what that folder looks like. And the Renee one comes with a bow, so it's got an Omega HUD, but in a bunch of different bows. And the Audrey lingerie comes with Slink and Omega applier. So, okay. So there's those. I'm going to do one more here, and then we will go out to Wardrobe and import these. And then we can get onto some questions if there are any more. And I can show you some of the other sort of custom folders that I have in my RLV and give you some more ideas about how to use it. So I got this at, I think this was at Collabor 88. I don't remember now. Anyway, we'll go ahead and put it on. So this is the Lara size, so I'll go ahead and put these on here. And I'm going to go ahead and come to my layers. I'm going to go ahead and take those off. Okay, so it's this outfit, this hot pants and this top, and this has got a pretty neat HUD. So each of these pieces, both the top and the bottoms, has all of these different color options. And so you can go through in the different places on there and kind of create your own custom outfit, however you want it to be. I had this on the other night, and I had just watched Suicide Squad, so I was kind of going for a Harley Quinn sort of look, kind of. Anyway. So go ahead and come in here, and I don't think this had a picture. I was pretty sure it didn't. No, it didn't. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take this picture here as well. So we'll line that up as best we can. And so I try to not get a whole lot of other stuff that's not part of the picture in my image. So I'm going to go ahead and take the collar off, and I'm actually going to take my hair off too. I mentioned earlier in the group that a lot of times when I'm wardrobing, half the time I'm wardrobing, I'm naked with no hair, and this is why. Okay, so now I can get just this, and because I really want to focus just on the outfit here. All right, so I'll save to disk. That's, of course, personal preference. You can take your pictures however you want. It does not affect how wardrobe works in the slightest. All right, so this is from Nutrice, and this is called the Ica top and hot pants. And they take very careful care to say this is a multi-option product, not a fat pack, but I'm going to go ahead and call it fat pack anyway. All right, and so it comes with both a color and a texture HUD, because some of those I can change the texture a little bit. And it works for Freya and Isis and Lara and Hourglass and Physique. And it's got a crop top and it's got shorts. That'll be good enough for me to know what it is. And I'll click Save. Alrighty, and before we go to wardrobe, actually, you know what? I'm not going to put this into my RLV folder first because I want to jump over to wardrobe, and I want to make sure there's one that's not there so I can demonstrate this the right way. Okay, so we're back over here in wardrobe, and I'm going to go ahead and go to import, and I'm going to call it a fat pack anyway. Yes, I am. It's my inventory and my wardrobe, and I can do whatever I want. Um, oh, it's raining here. I don't know if you guys will be able to hear that or not. It'll probably means that I don't know what the difference between a fat pack and a multi whatever they called it is. I don't know why you wouldn't want people to think they were getting a fat pack. So, all right. So here's my uploads folder. And what I'm going to do, now I usually have 2 monitors, so it's usually really easy for me to drag these over. But really, you don't really need to do that. As long as you can see this drop image files here bar, and you can see your images, you can just select these. So I'm just holding down Control. Yeah, I think you may be right, Crystal. That they're just trying to clarify that it's the HUD and that you get all those different options. So I just picked those up with my mouse and I dragged them over and dropped them onto that sidebar. And then all I'm going to do is take the things that I put here as tags in the title, and I'm going to move them to the tags field. So Insania is the name of the store. And again, I like doing this because I don't have to type everything. I can just start typing a little bit, and I'm going to get my tags, and I can fill them in. And the problem I have with email is that I'm a terrible, terrible, terrible typer. And so I was forever misspelling stuff. And so I'd end up with dress and dress with 1 S and dress with mini, M-I-N-N-I, M-I-N-I. Had all these different misspellings and my tags got to be quite a mess. Or sometimes I would just completely forget what I called something. And so I would create a brand new tag because I thought it was right. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill these in really quick. So I've got a fat pack. It's actually a sub tag of HUD. And then I'm going to put in the body types, Freya, Isis, Venus. And again, I'm just typing a little bit of each one until I get to where I need to be. Lara, Hourglass, Physique. And then I'm just going to clean this top part back up. So all I'm left with is what I named that folder, Tanya Dress. So one thing that I've started doing recently, because I wear the Lara body like 99% of the time, is I'll actually come down here to subfolders and I started typing in Lara because I want the Lara body version to wear by default. And sometimes I'll also go ahead and put HUD there. And I can show you how those work in a minute. Or you can watch my subfolder video where I talk about that. Okay, so there's that. Now this one here, Nutrice, there we go. And this has got a top and shorts. There we go. And fat pack and color and texture. I probably didn't need all those HUD tags, but I've got them nevertheless. All right. Isis. Oops, I gotta move this over a second. Okay, Freya. Freya, so it doesn't have Venus. Lara, Physique, and Hourglass. Okay. There we go. And again, I'm going to go ahead and leave this as Lara, but the HUDs are going to be a little different on this one, so I'll leave that for now. And again, you got to make sure that you click the submit button and don't hit enter here, because sometimes if you hit enter, it just closes the whole thing, it discards, and then you're back to the beginning. All right, one last to do here, and that's butterfly, effect, lingerie, and bra. Forgot a couple. Pink, black, and Omega. So the difference here, this Omega here is the store Omega tag, and this is for any ones that have just appliers. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and add Omega here. And click on Submit. Okay. Now let me come up here to Recent Items for today, and we can see what we got here. Here's the 3 items that we just did. And if I come to each one of these and click on the second button here, which is the Where Dialog button, if I have it properly filed, I'll see those subfolders that I created. Okay. In this case, though, remember, I didn't actually move these into RLV, so it can't find them. So I know that there's something wrong with this. Either I've got it named wrong, or it's not there, which in this case it's not. And of course, with this one, that is there. So let's jump back over here really quick, and let's fix this. I think the Mutree stuff I have is quite old, so I probably don't have a folder for it anymore. Okay, so oops. Come back. There we go. F2 to rename. Okay. And again, I need to paste in all my folders, and I don't need Venus this time, but I will need a second HUD. So we're going to call this one HUD top. New folder, HUD bottoms. And I don't need that note card. And, oh, you know what else we need? We need a second one of these here. Let's do it like that, because we need this to be top. So I rename that, and I'm just going to go ahead and select that and copy it. And then come down here and Control V to paste. F2, Control V to paste. There we go. There we go. So now we've got all the folders we need. Alright, so this is Lara Bottoms. And this is the top HUD. And this is the Freya Bottoms and the Isis Bottoms. Oops. Oop, that was the HUD. There we go. That's the Lara. And this is the Hourglass Bottoms, which I forgot to name. Alright, Hourglass Bottoms, Physique Bottoms, Freya top, Isis top, now we're moving. Lara top, Hourglass top, and Physique top. Oh, and look at this. They've got some auto hide layers, so oops. Somebody always calls when I'm on the stream. This one goes with Lara top, and this one goes with Lara bottoms. Okay. So now, if I go back over to wardrobe and I click on this, it should find it, yeah. And I can actually come up to worn outfits now, and I should actually see that I'm wearing that. And I can take those off, take off, take off. And I can come in here, and I can put this dress back on. Okay, so let me take a quick look at this. When you organize your inventory, you categorize simply by designer and not by the item, top, bottom. So yes, so in my inventory, I don't put any organization in terms of top, bottom, the type of outfit really at all. So if we look at my RLV structure, and let me just kind of back up here. I have body parts, which is basically where anything that goes on my body that's not clothing or shoes goes. So, well, that's not 100%. Makeup doesn't go here either. But this is like anything that's hair or tails or ears or skins or shapes or mesh heads and stuff like that. So that all goes in body parts. Dolly Dress Up is my saved outfits. Fast Access Toolkit, this is one I showed you. This got just these folders with HUDs in them. Gadgets is extra stuff, HUDs and things like that. Home and Garden obviously isn't wearables, it's where all my home stuff is. Modified Avatars is where my kimono stuff goes, and other things that have mod kits. Restraints is pretty self-explanatory. Shoes, then, this is the one item that I wear on my body that I actually segregate out, and that's just because I have so many. Nearly, well, not quite as many as I have the other one, but they're just there. Um, this one's just for testing. I have actually started pulling my textures out of texture HUDs and putting them directly in here because the texture HUDs are just getting to be such a nightmare for me to organize, but I'm not sure which way I'm going to go. But most of the stuff goes here under wearables. And so if it's clothing or makeup, like Izzy's is a really good example of that. So at Izzy's, I've got a mix of different clothing and applier clothing and jewelry and makeup. And so it's all in here and it's all in one folder. And then I rely then on my tags in wardrobe. So we look at that Izzy's. So it's all here. And the only real differentiation between these is all of the tags that I give to stuff. So this is awesome and easy and fast as long as I have wardrobe. If wardrobe was to go away tomorrow, I would be probably in a little bit of trouble because I really wouldn't know necessarily what was what. Although usually the names are fairly good with that sort of stuff. I do have a couple of other sort of tags that I have in here that I think, so I've got my base outfits, which is really just all my different bodies. But inside of here, I also have folders for like my ankle locks. So we all get like tons and tons and tons of different ankle locks, so I can put them in here. Although I'm not really sure why it's not showing them. I must have a different folder. Physics layers are all in there, and so on. So I have a folder that just got my base HUDs in it, so I can put these on really fast and easy as well. And then I've got, like I said, I've got this fast access toolkit one here, which the whole idea is just simple single-click access to these things. Most of my tags, though, are sub-tagged now. So, for example, if you look at my jewelry tag, so I've got all of these different sub-tags. I don't know if you know you can do this. So if you have sub-tags, you can click on the top tag, and it will actually select everything that's in there. So it's got all of those. And I can click it again for them to go away. Or I can come in and say, you know what, I just want to look at earrings. And so this is all the sets that have earrings in them. And as you can see from the pictures, like even like when I'm wearing jewelry and stuff, I try not to put too much else in there, although jewelry is really hard to take pictures of sometimes because it's so small and in the way of things. So I guess I've kind of ruined the no nudity part to this video. Yeah, Crystal, I think it's, it's really up to you about how you want to do it. I do it this way because it's so fast and easy. I don't have to think about where something goes. Like I said, you've got times when you've got an outfit maybe that's got, what was it? One of the blueberry dresses, for example, comes with both a dress and a sweater. And so if you've got that, do you divide them up and put the sweater in the sweater folder and the dress in the dress folder, or do you keep them all together with the outfit? Same thing goes true anytime you get an outfit. It's got top and bottom to it. Do you put those all in, do you put one in the jeans folder and one in the tops folder? How do you do that? And I used to do that, and it just got to be such a mess. I would forget what went with what. And so I just said, you know what, I'm just going to put them all into the one place and use my tags to sort through the rest. So yeah, so there's those, and I do also I'm trying to get all of my decor, all my home stuff into here. This is taking a long time because it's a lot slower, I think, to take the pictures of this, especially with the gashas with hundreds and hundreds of items in them. But I'm getting kind of along through it. Still a lot to go though. But yeah, you can really use this for absolutely anything. Okay. All right, so let me jump back over here quick. And there was something else I wanted to talk about. If anyone has any other questions, just put them in chat too. So, this is my my challenge with these videos is I'm showing one way, right? And it's really important to understand that I'm just showing one way. And so it's something where you should kind of take this as some examples and use it to kind of formulate your own plan. The Shared Wardrobes website, which is out on my blog now, is really, really good for that because you can go out and see, I think there's like 36 or 37 wardrobes shared out there. So you can go and look at how other people have tagged and kind of put together what works best for you. And so, you know, don't necessarily look at mine and say, oh, well, that's the way she does it, so, you know, I should do it that way too. It's not necessarily the best way, it's just a way to do it. Let me find some hair to put back on. Okay, so yeah, so that's that. That's wardrobing. And you know what I do generally, and what I'll probably end up doing now. I wasn't sure how much I was going to get through on this, so I haven't been sorting very much. But what I'm going to do is my one day at a time method. You know, and going back to Michelle, your question. Oh, I missed one from you too. Let me go back and talk about that really quick. But what I usually do is I come in here and I just go into my filters and I choose show filters. And, you know, if I've had a really busy shopping day, I might go back 1 hour. But normally I'll just go back one day and I'll filter this inventory down and say, show me everything I've gotten in the last day. And I'll go through and I'll sort all of this. And then I'll go back 2 days and I'll sort all of that. And then I'll go back 3 days and I'll sort all of that. And just keep going back until there's nothing that's not in my RLV folder. So let me do, I see your question, Crystal. Let me come up really quick because I missed a question from Michelle earlier and I hope she's still on. And her question was about what's in my base outfits. So if I, let me clear this. So I've got like all these base outfits here, and my main one is this Lara base outfit up here. And if I go into my RLV folder, let me reset my filters because it's just showing me one day. If I go into my RLV folder and go to base, you can see here, this is what I have. I have my base HUDs, which is just my wardrobe HUD. I'm using the Strawberry Sing version of the Ankle Fix as a default, and then my AO. So that's what's there. But for my Maitreya Lara base, I've got basically the body, my shape, the 4 sort of standard things I need, my skin, my shape, my eyes, and my hair base. And then I got the alphas that I need for my body. I've got my mesh eyes. I've got the HUDs for my Kadwa head and for the Maitreya body. And that's what makes up a base. So when I wear this, I go back to basically being naked. I don't have hair on or anything. And I'm just starting fresh. So that's what's in my base outfits. And I've got one for each of my mesh bodies, and they're all the same, you know, just with the different HUDs. And then I've got a base outfit for Invisible, which is just me, the stuff I need here, plus a full body alpha. And then I've got one that is, so that one's there. It's just all the extra bits I have if I'm naked. So for realism. So yeah, that's what's in my base outfits. So Crystal asked, what do I do when I have done, like you said earlier, made takes for mini dress, mini min, and you've got tags that are all over the place. So let me jump back over here. And this is actually great because this came up yesterday, and I could talk a little bit about this. So if I come in here to my tags, and let me go, I don't know if I have any that are sort of messed up right now, but, oh, you know what, I do have one that I want to fix. So I've got this tag that I started called Bento for all the different Bento stuff. And when you're in your tag list here, you can either favorite your tags, which adds them up at the top up here. You can delete your tags, and this is what happened to the person I was talking to yesterday. If you delete your tags, you do not delete the items that are associated with them, only the tag itself. And if you happen to delete all the tags that are on an item, the only way you can ever find that item again is by remembering the name that you put in it or doing some sort of other search for it. So if you're trying to clean things up and you're actually wanting to delete items, make sure you don't just delete the tags. Make sure you actually come into these items and use the delete item here, because these are what will actually delete the items. But Crystal, if you do have a bunch of tags that need to be sort of cleaned up, what you can do is just come into this little pencil icon and edit them and rename them. And you can rename 10 different tags all to the same thing, and it will just change them all to be that. So I can come in here to the new tag name, and I'm actually going to change this one. When I have things that relate to sort of system features, I put the system in front of it, so it should be system bento, not just regular bento. And choose OK. So if you had one that was called dress mini and one called mini dress, and you had another one called min dress because you forgot the last I, you can go in and just rename all three of them to be whatever you want the new one to be, and that will clean it up. There's no fast way to do it. You got to go through all your tags. But you know, really, to be honest, over time, you will end up changing your tags to some extent. Most people do, especially if they get really heavy into it. I was saying in group the other day that I'm getting ready to go through and re-tag or clean up the tags on a lot of my lingerie folder because it was very inconsistently done. Yes, it will merge the tags, so if you rename them, it will merge them. But it was very inconsistently done. I had a tag called stockings, and then about like halfway through my organizing, I added a separate tag for thigh-high stockings, but I have a whole bunch of thigh-high stockings that just have the old original stockings tags, so I kind of have to go back through and change those tags and fix them up, and it's just a manual process. There's really no faster way to do it. Wardrobe is really good for helping you clean up your inventory. When I very first started with this most recent round, this is my third go through really on wardrobe. So I've done it twice before this and completely deleted it and started again. But this one I've kept now for well over a year, and I don't think I'll ever delete it again. When I have started in the past, each time I've done it as part of sort of cleaning out my inventory. You know, moving to mesh, getting rid of system layers, moving away from standard size mesh now and into only fitted mesh. And so every time there's sort of a major shift in fashion, I tend to go through and clean stuff up. But when I first started, I had about 80,000, and now I generally hover between 30 and 40,000, just depending on where I am at cleaning stuff up in my inventory. So I got rid of about, maybe not quite half, roughly over time. Okay. So what other questions? Does anyone else have any other questions? So if you haven't seen it yet, I did put together a new blog at everythingbutta.net, and it's got everything that was on the old website is here now. It's got all my videos. They're all sort of done up as individual blog posts, and I'm trying to do more articles as well, just to kind of give it a little more of a blog feel and not just be about the videos. But the overall kind of driving force of it is the actual videos. I'm going to try and do this post on Sunday evenings, this Wardrobe Weekly, and in here it's just a big long write-up, really, so it's a lot of text, but kind of what's new with CTS Wardrobe, kind of some stuff that's new with Second Life in general, what events are coming up this week. So we had season story started yesterday, and I've got a misspelling there. Epiphany and Custom 9 start on Saturday, and Epiphany is looking really, really good. If you haven't seen Blueberry's outfit for Epiphany, it's going to be pretty awesome. And then I just kind of tried to pick through a couple of things that I bought in the past week that I thought were really cute or nice. I ended up getting the full fat pack of the rompers from Rain at Collabor 88. It was 888 lindens for the fat pack, but the only way to get the patterns was in the fat pack, and I've got so many solid colored everything. I've been trying to buy more textured and patterned clothes, so oh well. It's really cute, so I think it'll be nice. So I'll highlight some of those on the website. So yeah, that covers it pretty much. I'm going to try and do one of these every couple weeks, and I am going to try and branch out a little bit. Over time, I think I've done a lot of Watch Me Wardrobes now, and so I think, I mean, there's always something new to cover, and there's always new people coming in, and it's great to be able to show them that, but I do want to cover some other topics. A lot of people have been asking about sort of an overall getting started guide to mesh bodies. I actually asked around some people last night what was keeping them from buying mesh bodies, so I may look into doing that. But yeah, there we go. Thanks everybody for coming out. Let me see. Oh, we got another question here. How do you sort collab items in your inventory? Do you make a new folder with both designers? I'm looking at, for example, the Blueberry Griggsdale Madcap collaboration. Okay, number one, I don't know which one that is, and I have to figure out what it is because I love the collaborations. But what I did, and I thought about this for a while, and I really wasn't sure what I wanted to do. But I ended up creating, leaving everything where it was in my inventory. So, you know, for example, last year, just because Rain and Blueberry, I think, did a collaboration together. And so I just put the individual pieces in the designer folders where they go with everything else normally in inventory. And then I created this tag right here, and it's called !WGT. It's really small, you probably can't see it. Oh, I do have to look at it if it was a Harley Quinn. Gotcha. Okay. So I call it WGT, and it stands for We Go Together. And then underneath there, I just put a sub tag, and I was trying to come up with something unique. And so I actually took the first letter of each of the stores that were involved and then made it into a tag. So this first one here is WGT BAR October 16. And if I look in there, I can see all the different pieces that go together with it, and I know that it was Blueberry, Adams, and Rain that put this together in collaboration. And then I had another one here, which was Blueberry and Vinyl and Rain. That's who it was. It wasn't just because it was Vinyl. So this was in his BVR. And so the actual items go into their respective designers folders in this case. Okay, so yeah, so if Blueberry and Rain actually really collaborated on one and just came out with one item, I don't know, I'd just pick one or the other probably. But in this case where, like if you go to the Rain sim right now, they have a little collaboration out there between Rain and Flight and Basim for hair. And so if I was to go pick up those pieces, I would put the shoes in Rain, I would put the outfit in Flight, and the hair in my Basim folder. And then I would put a We Go Together, right, into one place. Yeah, so when the jacket is, you know, in your case, so the jacket is by both Blueberry and Griggsdale, I guess I would just pick one or the other. I would probably tag it with both in Wardrobe, put both creators in the tags, and I would just pick one place to put it in inventory. Because really in inventory, it doesn't matter so much. The only thing that really matters in inventory is that the names match, right? So I'd probably put it in Blueberry too, just because I don't know, maybe I'd put it in the other one since my Blueberry folder is so full. Blueberries generally, I mean, this Fat Pack from Rain, notwithstanding, Blueberry is the one store I generally buy Fat Packs at. So, yeah. All right, that was a good question though. Yeah, this is a tag, and the worst part was when I first created this tag, I could not remember for the life of me what WGT stood for. I created it, and then I didn't use it for a while. I was like, what did I mean with that? But We Go Together, that's what WGT stands for. But again, you can do anything you want with these. It doesn't have to be just stores and articles of clothing. You know, I don't do this as well as I should, but I have a tag for events. And so I have the event as the main tag, and then I have the month underneath it. And I try to remember to tag what event I got it from. But your tags can really be anything, whatever works for you. And you don't, you don't have to do it a particular way. It doesn't have to be restricted to just body stuff or clothing stuff. It can be anything. All right, well, that's about all the time I have. We've been doing this right about an hour now. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you are in Second Life and not part of the wardrobe support group, and you use CTS Wardrobe, make sure you join it, because we're always talking about new stuff that's going on, not just wardrobe itself, but everything related to shopping and fashion and inventory organization in Second Life. It's a really great group, and we're really pretty much open to everything. I am relaunching my coffee shop in Second Life. It's sort of not a traditional like real world coffee shop, so it's a little more outdoorsy, but it should be a lot of fun. So I'll be posting some links about that, and people are welcome to come by and hang out and chat, and whatever. And I may throw some post stands out, so maybe some some fun places just to share and show off what people are wearing and so on. So and again, if you do have any questions, just feel free to send me a message in World. I'm almost always online, either on my phone or really in World, so I'm generally pretty available, except for when I'm sleeping. All right, thanks everybody, and we will do this again probably in a couple weeks. So if you liked it, come back for the next one. Bye all, thanks.